After battling our way into the final group, we head into the final round of the 2025 Quebec PGA Championship just one shot off the lead. It's all on the line. Every swing, every decision, and every hole matters. Can we stay in the fight and make a run at the title? Let's find out. Alright guys, back in Grand-Mère, Quebec at the Grand-Mère Golf Club for the second and final round of the Quebec PGA Championship. For those who didn't see the first round, we are final group today, solo second, one shot back from the lead. Solid round yesterday, a lot of good. Overall ball striking was pretty good. Putter let us down on the back, had 3 putts on the back nine. The greens here are incredibly tricky and they absolutely got the best of me. Especially on the back nine. Anyways, worked on it after the round. We're focusing on positives. I've had to kind of work on giving myself some perspective this morning because those who've been watching the channel for at least this summer know that it's been a turbulent year. There has been a lot more bad than good, but it's been a while where I feel like things are kind of coming around, and now I'm starting to believe that things are coming around. But seeing as it's been a tough year, we haven't put ourselves in this position at all, I don't think. It's been a minute since I've played final groups, so I don't want to get caught up in that. I want to go out there and have fun. I mean, I've got the chance to go out and win the Quebec PGA Championship today, which is an incredible opportunity, and I want to go and enjoy this. Because if I go out and enjoy myself and just play golf, I like where my chances are at the end of the day. But if I go out and try to win it and stress myself out, probably not going to go well. Anyways, gotta get warmed up. So at this point, if you have not seen the video recapping the first round of the Quebec PGA Championship, I highly recommend you go and watch that before watching this video. So the Grand-Mère Golf Course opened in 1910. 6,450 yards, par 70, so only 2 par 5s, and you need to take advantage of those opportunities. Very cool course, parts of it look links, parts of it look more parkland. The defense of the course really is the greens. They are tricky, there's a generous amount of slope in a lot of them, and they are very grainy. The other defense, especially on the back nine, is that the winds tend to swirl quite a bit. So final group today, one shot back. As mentioned, we have not been in this position in a little while, as it has been a bit of a difficult year for me. But I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to go out and compete for the title today.
Bonjour et bienvenue au championnat de la PGA du Québec présenté par Vidéotron Affaires au club de golf Grand-Mère. Ceci est le dernier départ de 9h20 du club de golf Griffon des Sources, M. James Colin Davis.
And here we go for the final round of the 2025 Quebec PGA Championship. Final group, one shot off the lead. Looking to play a similar round to what we done in round one. Figure if I can come in again, anything under par, I'm going to put myself in a really good spot to win. As mentioned in the first video, only one player finished under par for the 36-hole championship here last year. This course is tough. First hole here, par 5, 504 yards. You head out through this tunnel here. Oh, there's a cart driving up. I step off, reset. Hit out through this tunnel here over a gully. The hole does take a slight dogleg to the right. There is a bunker down the right side in the rough, and there is one in the left side of the fairway. I'm just trying to split that field goal, set myself up to attack this hole in 2. Drove the ball well yesterday, hoping we can do the same today. And that's a bit of a left miss, but it's not terrible. It's just heading at that left bunker. That should be fine. Unfortunately, it chased right through the bunker and finished in this fescue on the downslope on the other side of it. So we are not going to be able to challenge this green in 2. I still had 199 yards left in here. I'm hitting a 6-iron, just trying to make sure I get good contact, advance it down the fairway. That worked out just fine. Down the middle of the fairway, we're going to have a wedge in here at 70 yards. This my lob wedge, this slightly back into the wind, pin on the left side of the green. Nice flight there, just slightly left of the flag, but good for distance control. We're going to have a quick putt for birdie here, but it is a reasonably good look. This going downhill, breaking significantly from left to right. That was just a slight underread. We are not able to convert the birdie putt on 1, but we do tap in for our par to keep us at 2 under par. The second hole is a 370-yard par 4 that doglegs 90 degrees to the left. And you can't really go over the trees. In the first round, I hit 6-iron off the tee and went through the fairway, so I've gone back to 7-iron. Just trying to hit a bit of a heavy draw here around the corner. Really nice swing there. Great contact. The exact flight I was looking for. That worked out very nicely. 154 yards left in here. Again, slightly back into the wind, but this is a 9-iron. I don't want to go long. A pretty good strike there on a decent line. It's up on the front part of the green. It's safe. The proximity isn't great. I possibly could have hit 8-iron there. Long look at birdie here. Slightly uphill, breaking from left to right. That was a good roll. A little bit frisky on the pace. We've left ourselves a little bit more work for par than I would have ideally wanted. About 3.5 feet left here. This going slightly back uphill, but pretty straight, not much in this. We tuck that away for par to remain even on the day and 2 under par for the championship. And as we head on to the par 4 third, I am actually in a 4-way tie for the lead, as our overnight leader has dropped 1 and a couple of other players are making a charge up the leaderboard. 418-yard par 4, slight dogleg to the left. Played this hole really well in the first round. And again, a bit of a left miss with the driver. Not really enough to get me in any serious trouble, but that is not the ball flight that I am looking for. Unfortunately, that ball did just happen to find this patch of fescue, had a decent lie. 133 yards left. This is my gap wedge. Really good strike considering the fescue on a very good line. That is a great wedge shot from that lie. And this gives us about 10 feet here, going slightly uphill, breaking from right to left. Good roll, breaking towards the hole, and just slips out on the high side. Bit of a missed opportunity there, but I definitely felt like I hit a good putt. We're going to go ahead, tap in for our 3rd par in a row to start this final round. The 4th hole is a drivable par 4 coming in just over 300 yards, but as explained in the video documenting round 1, I don't like the bailout area where I typically would miss with my driver on the left side. So again, I'm just going to hit 5-iron here and give myself a wedge in. It's another good strike. Did turn slightly left on me, but that's not going to put us in any trouble whatsoever. Left side of the fairway, we've got 68 yards left in. Pin at the back of this green. Now I've got to be very careful with my landing spot here. trying to fly it just past the downslope. Fortunately, it did not carry far enough. It hits that downslope, which is going to kick it to the right. That is going to hurt our proximity. As you can see, we have a long look for birdie here, breaking from left to right, going downhill. And that is the second day in a row that we've had a putt towards the back of this green that we expected to be much quicker. I left that a good 7 feet short. Not my best effort. We have got work to do here to clean up for par and remain at 2 under. This is huge right now. We get that to drop. No damage done. We are keeping ourselves in this, but it's definitely not the same start we had in round 1. Heading on to the par 3 fifth, we see that I am now in a 3-way tie for second, as Chris Fondette, the overnight leader, is back to even par for his round. This par 3 today playing 142 yards, pin at the back. I'm hitting pitching wedge again. Another good strike on a really good line. This one's going to land about middle of the green and does spin back a little bit today, unfortunately. It's a solid shot, but again, the proximity is not very good. You're going to see I'm going to be hidden by the caddy here, but he did see me there for a split second. Long uphill birdie look here with some right to left break on it. Gave it a good chance of going in, just missed it on the right hand side. Goes about 1.5 or 2 feet past the hole. Very good effort from that distance. Just a little bit of work here to clean up for our par on this par 3. Tuck that away. Remain at 2 under par for the championship. The 6th hole is a 404-yard par 4 that dog legs to the left. Now again, we are hitting 3-wood, just the same play that we did in round 1. Driver to me right now is a little too aggressive with my left miss and hazard down that side. So just looking for a good swing here. We get it. Nice little draw around the corner. This was playing pretty heavily downwind. That 3-wood is going to go a mile. 78 yards left in here, a little bit uphill to a front left flag. This course is firm. I'm trying to land this a little short and let it just hop up onto the green. Fortunately, I landed it a few paces shorter than planned, and it didn't quite get the kick I was looking for. So that is going to stay just on the front fringe, but we do have another uphill look here at birdie, expecting this to go slightly from left to right as it goes up the hill. Ends up going a little bit right to left. But it was another good stroke, another good roll, just a bit of a misread on these tricky greens. About 3 feet here left for my par. In for par, keeps us at 2 under, but we have got to get something going here soon. The 7th hole is a 359-yard par 4 that doglegs slightly to the right. Now in round 1, I'd hit hybrid, but this was so heavily into the wind at the moment, I decided to club up and hit 3-wood, just to make sure that I get a wedge in my hand to approach the green. And that is the first swing of the day where I just get a little bit out of sequence. That is a heavy miss to the left, but actually so far left that I am over the hazard that protects the left side of the fairway. Actually closer to being on the 12th hole. That worked out okay. We're a long way back. I have 145 yards in, but I do have a shot. This is my 9-iron going back into the wind here. Another one that comes out a little bit left. Going to be really good for distance, but that's going to take a hard kick away from the green once it lands. That's a couple of shots here that we've missed left. We had a period on the back 9 yesterday where I struggled with those misses. Well, those struggles seem to have started a little bit earlier today. Got a tricky up and down here, kind of semi-flop shot here, back up onto the green, let it release down to the flag. Hit my landing spot. Releases down just past the flag, but from where I was, that was a very nice shot. About 5 feet here, uphill, turning a little bit from right to left. Catches the left side of the hole and falls in. That is a huge par save given the circumstances. On to the par 3 8th, and at this point we are now 2 back from the lead. Now we want to make a move, but this is a tricky par 3 here, 170 yards back into the wind, uphill. I'm hitting a soft 6-iron here. Good swing, really nice strike, just slightly right of the flag, but that leaves us in a pretty good position here, though we are going to have a very quick and tricky putt from the right fringe. This is going to be very fast with a lot of break. And that lips out on the high side, which means that it picks up speed and goes even further down the hill than if it had just outright missed the hole. That is unfortunate, but I definitely got a little frisky with that one. We've got work left here for par, going back up the hill. I'm expecting this to turn a little bit from left to right. And it doesn't really turn, and we lip out again on the high side. That is a bogey. That drops us back to 1 under par for the championship. On to the par 4 9th hole, 449 yards, pretty straight away. Now, if you remember in round 1, there are cross bunkers at the end of the fairway. They're about 330 yards out. Now, I've missed 2 drives left, so I'm taking this a little bit more up the right side. And of course, as soon as I take it a little bit up the right side, the fade I'm trying to hit materializes. That's going to end up going into that group of trees. It's a good swing, but an unfortunate spot to be in. You can see here we're right up top of a mound. We've got a bunch of trees to contend with. I do not have a clear look at the green. 164 yards left. I've got a 5-iron out because I have to hit like a low cut, get it under the branches, and then cut back to the right. This was actually really well played. I couldn't get a camera angle where we could really see the ball flight. Just going to finish a little bit short of the green, but it is a quite a good recovery shot, to be fair. We've got this pitch shot here with my lob wedge from short of the green. Nicely played on a great line, expecting that to release more once it lands. It does not. But we have about 6 or 7 feet here for par to close out the front 9. This should be pretty straight going back up the hill. And I misread it as it breaks to the right. That is back-to-back bogeys to finish the front 9 in this final round, and that gets us to even par for the tournament. So as we start the back 9, I am 3 back of our leader with 9 holes to play, by no means out of it. But we've got to get the round turned around in a hurry if we want to challenge. I'm hitting 4-iron again on this par 4 here, 411 yards. Now that was a good swing, but not my best strike. Caught that just a little bit out of the toe, so lost a little bit of distance, but we are going to be in the fairway. 184 yards left in here. Pin on the left side of the green. This is a 7-iron, slightly downwind. And that is a massive pull to the left. That is not going to be in a good spot. I can't tell from the fairway, but I know there's a hazard up there. I'm not sure if the ball has gone into it. The ball had gone into it. I took a big kick. I could drop, but I felt like I could get the ball out a little bit, make my next shot a little bit easier. So just with my sand wedge, trying to hack this out here. Good job just getting the ball out, advancing it closer to the green. We now have this shot here with my lob wedge, where I'm going to pitch this up, land it short, and let it release on. And I played the shot I was trying to play, and it just didn't quite release as much as I wanted. So we've got this putt here for bogey, turning from left to right. And just needed a little bit of extra pace on that. That is a double bogey. We are 4 over par in the last 3 holes and 2 over par for the championship. And we can see here on the leaderboard that all of a sudden we are 5 shots back with only 8 holes to play. It's not over, but I have to get things turned around. The 11th hole today, I'm hitting hybrid, as 3-wood was quite an aggressive play in the first round. Now this one I did push a little bit out to the right. This is going to kick back into the fairway. That is a good break. We will absolutely take that. Now I've mentioned swirling winds on the back 9, and this is really where it started in the second round. 138 yards here. This is my gap wedge. Felt like we had a little bit of a helping wind. Good swing there, nice strike on a very good line, but I had misjudged the wind. It was definitely a little bit more into us than helping. We do have a birdie putt, but again, it's a bit of an outside look here. Just inside of 30 feet, going uphill, turning a little bit from right to left. All in all, good effort. It was a good roll, but just didn't see it breaking that heavily that early. It is close enough that I can walk up and just tap it in and at least stop the bleeding. That's a par on the 11th hole. This is the 388 yard par 4 12th. This is quite an elevated tee shot. It's actually a new tee box that they just put in last year. I'm hitting 4-iron on this tee again here today, trying to take it a little bit more down the right side than I had in round 1. Good swing there, good contact right down the right side of the fairway. That is going to work out beautifully. Leaves me 138 yards in here, pin at the back of the green. I'm hitting pitching wedge. It's a little bit downwind, a little bit off the left. It felt like a really good strike, but didn't really draw for me, and it landed kind of in the middle of the green and spun right back off the front edge. So even when I'm hitting good shots right now, they're not finishing in great spots. This is a long bump and run here with my pitching wedge going from the front of the green to this back pin. Really well judged for distance, a little bit off on the line, but considering how far away I was, that proximity isn't bad, and I've left myself a simple uphill putt here. Just going uphill with a tiny little bit of right to left in it. We make that putt to save par. You can see me celebrate the fact that I actually made a putt. The putter has not cooperated so far today. The par 3 13th today, playing 174 yards, pin in the middle of the green on the right hand side. I'm hitting 8-iron here today. Wind should have been a little bit off the left. Just trying to hit a little bit of a draw, just hold the ball up. Good swing there, good strike on a great line. Just comes up short of pin high, more towards the front of the green, so felt like another good swing. But we need to make some birdies, and my proximity today has not been very good. This another long birdie look here. This is really all about pace. It was decent for line, though it wasn't overread. It was a little bit short on pace, but those putts don't drop very often. The main goal is to put yourself in a distance where you're confidently going to make your next one. Here is that next one. Put that away for par. good par on the par 3, par 5 incoming. So you can see here we are still 5 back with 5 to play. Now this is a very tough tee shot on this par 5 14th. I've hit 2 drives left and 1 drive right. So my whole goal here, aim at the big bunker on the right. If it goes left, fine. If it goes right, no problem whatsoever. And I proceed to hit it dead straight. Honestly, one of the better drives I'd hit all year. 325 yards to reach that bunker that I was just talking about. We were right in the middle of it. So, deep bunker. There's no chance of getting this anywhere close to the green. I still have 209 yards left in here. So this is my lob wedge. I've got the face open, trying to take a hard swing. Just make sure I get it above the lip and advance the ball as much as possible. And that's about all we could do. Bit of a bad break, but it was a good drive. 154 yards left in here. This is my 9-iron going a little bit back up the hill, pin on the right side of the green. Good strike on a really good line. This should set us up for a good look at birdie. Very happy with the shot, though it was a little bit short of pin high. So again, the proximity not phenomenal. Again, we were 154 yards away. It's still a pretty good shot. But this uphill look here for birdie. And just a slight misread, but it was a good roll and good pace. But being 5 down with 5 to play, we really needed to make birdie there. We have not taken advantage of the par 5s in this final round. So looking at the leaderboard here, we can see that the leaders are starting to come back towards us a little bit. But we are running out of holes if we want to get back in the mix. Par 4 15th, 336 yards. I'm hitting the same 4-iron I had hit in the first round, just trying to give myself a wedge in. It's a little bit back into the wind today. Good strike there, just slightly down the right-hand side. It is going to get over that bunker, no problem there. But we will not be in the fairway, we will just be in the right rough. 120 yards left in here, pin back left. Wind felt like it was off the left here. That is a sand wedge, expecting the ball to fly for me a little bit. It really doesn't, and the wind took it way to the right, at least way further than I had expected. You see me tossing up some grass there, trying to figure it out and learn from it. Again, poor proximity. Got outside of 30 feet here after having a wedge in our hands for our second shot. This is uphill with a lot of break from, well, right to left early and then left to right at the top, but I left it so short it never really had a time to do its left to right break. Not only did I not give it a chance to go in, I still have a tricky putt here for par. Roll that one in, make par, keeps us at 2 over. This is the 399 yard par 4 16th, which doglegs to the right. Now there is a big gully out there in the fairway, so again, I can't hit much more than 4-iron here. So I'm trying to take my 4-iron down the right side of the fairway. That will shorten up my approach shot as much as possible. Another good swing there on a very good line. Can't do much better than that off of this tee. That sets us up with 165 yards left in to a pin on the front right portion of the green here. This, my 8-iron. And that was just a low heely strike, just a very poor swing. Worked out for distance, but you're going to see in a second here, we left ourselves in the absolute worst spot on the fringe right of this flag. There's just so much slope on the right side of this green. See, I've got to throw this way out to the right and try and just get it to a spot and let it come back down the hill. I did not get it to a high enough spot. but I did leave myself a simple uphill par putt. But unfortunately, pars are not what we need right now. Clean up for par on 16. That keeps us 4 over par on the day, 2 over par for the championship with 2 holes to play. On to the par 3 17th, today playing 202 yards. You can see I am still 4 back here with 2 holes to play. Now the 2 holes that we have left are very tough, a lot can happen, but I have to start here by hitting a good 6-iron and hitting this green. Really nice strike there, just turned over on me a little bit. It's going to finish on the left side of the green. It's not great proximity, but from 202 yards away, I'm not going to complain with that shot. Uphill putt here for birdie, breaking heavily from left to right. Well, clearly not that heavily. I feel like if I'd started that much more to the right, it would have broken off the planet. Good for pace, but I've left this above the hole, so we've got a downhill left to right putt left here for par. We're able to put that away, 2 over par, heading on to the final hole of the tournament. Now looking at the leaderboard, we can see there has been a lot of movement at the top. The leaders now are at even. Chris Fondette in our group still has 1 hole to play, but there are 3 guys who have finished at even. So basically means that I need to hole out for eagle on this 480-yard par 4 to get into potentially a playoff. I go for the aggressive drive, but I overdraw it. I hear it touch some trees. At this point, I'm just hoping that we find that golf ball. Forget about making eagle. I am going to go ahead, hit a provisional just in case, because I do not want to have to walk all the way back up this hill if ever we don't find the first one. That was a better swing. That was more like the one I'd hit on the par 5 14th. That one actually goes through the fairway, but that's absolutely fine. We end up finding the first one. It's not great. There's no chance I can hold this out for eagle from where I am. 165 yards left in. I'm just trying to hit a 5-iron through that gap with some draw on it to get it back into the fairway. And that was very well done from that position, but unfortunately that eliminates us from getting into a playoff here. Now we still have 42 yards left. Now this pin's at the back of the green. It's on a very small shelf. I can't fly it up there, so I'm trying to hit a kind of pitch and run with my gap wedge, which fortunately I hit a little bit too far right and a little bit too hard, and it chases just off the back of the green. Here, big sigh there. A little disappointed in my performance today. This putt here for par off the back edge of the green, I think just did not get through that fringe very well. It's left me pretty reasonable look here at bogey. I mean, there's still work to be done here. This with some left to right break on it. Good putt there to finish the tournament. But that is a 5 over par 75. We finished the tournament 3 over par. It's only 3 back from the, well, after Chris makes this putt, 4 players going into the playoff, but not what I was hoping for today. Felt good, felt like I was in control emotionally, but my game was just not there to back me up. Alright guys, so the playoff just wrapped. There ended up being a 4-man playoff, all tied at even par. Took 3 holes. Our eventual winner was Chris Fondette, guy in my group. Very happy for Chris. He played some really solid golf. Struggled a little bit down the stretch, but you know, he won the tournament. That's what counts. As for my game, I mean, obviously disappointing. Just didn't really have anything today. Just nothing really worked. I don't think it was nerves. I don't think it was the situation. I felt kind of calm and in control of myself emotionally all day, but I just struggled with the sequencing of my swing and my body just kind of outracing my arms and, you know, making poor contact, struggling directionally, you know, like some frustrating things where, like, you know, my first two drivers, they kind of went left, and then on 9 I planned for it to go left, and I ended up hitting a nice little fade, which is kind of like ideally what I'm looking for. Ended up in the trees, and then I get onto the par 5 14th, very narrow fairway. I aim at the bunker, figure if it goes left or right, I'm great, and I end up hitting it straight into the bunker. So that sucked. My irons weren't great, my wedges weren't great. I feel like I hit a lot of good putts and just didn't make anything, but at the same time, I mean, I really only had 2 good looks at birdie all day. The ball striking just wasn't good enough, and it's just kind of been the story of the season. I feel like the game is really close. I'm frustrated with how today went. I'm disappointed with the result, but I still feel like things are close, and I've just got to find a way to be patient. The only problem is that the season's coming to a close. Like, I've really only got 1 tournament left, so yeah. Tough day, but still a lot to like. I still feel like I'm very close to playing some good golf again. You know, we had a stretch yesterday on the front 9 where I felt like my old ball striking was back, and my God, that felt good. And I just got to find a way to be able to do that consistently. And I think I really have figured out what's going on with my swing, and I know what it is that I need to be focused on. And I've just got to keep working on that. And I mean, that might mean focusing on that and working on that throughout the entire off season, just to make sure that I come out better next year than I did this year, and hopefully avoid the injury trouble that I sustained this year. But yeah, finished. I think I finished tied 6th. You know, it's reasonable. It's kind of respectable, but it's not what I'm looking for. I'm not showing up to events to finish tied 6th, but I'd obviously prefer to finish tied 6th than, you know, tied 25th. But yeah, that's the instant reaction. I'm gonna head home, and I will do a more thorough breakdown once I'm back home. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. It was a ton of fun being back in contention. Obviously, as much as the game is trending, there's still some glaringly obvious flaws, especially in the swing, that I have to continue working on, but definitely making progress. Just got to kind of trust the process, keep growing here. Really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel or you've been around for a while and you haven't yet, please do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, leave us a comment down below. These are all things that help the channel grow. That's a wrap for this week, but as always, I'll be back again next week with another video. Cheers, guys.